What up, fam? I am Dr. De Luna. This is Casey, and you are listening to Drop It Like It's Doc podcast. Today, we're going to talk all about the benefits of having a dog. Truly, though, we're going to talk about the health benefits of having a dog, but we're also going to talk about my love story with Casey, my firstborn, my soulmate, so that you can learn a little bit about what that looks like. If you love dogs, or if you just want something that's going to help you with your energy, your depression, help you physically move your body more, you're going to want to A, buy a dog, and by buy a dog, you're going to rescue one, and B, you're going to want to listen to this episode. Thanks for being here. Unbelievably cute is what this is on my lap. So hello, everyone. Today, we're going to be talking all about dogs, and we are going to be half talking in a human voice, half talking in a dog voice, because it's going to be impossible for me not to. And those of you that know me know that I am part dog. The way that you know that I am part dog is because A, I love to be pet. B, I love food. And C, I like to snuggle. These are all things that dogs do. And if you've ever considered getting a dog, this episode is going to convince you, because not only is she the cutest puggle in the entire world, she has won awards throughout this nation for being the cutest puggle in the world, but also, I'm just going to convince you because they really do transform your life and transform your health. But first, I think we need to start with this little one. We must start with our love story. Did you know that there's cheese caves in Missouri? Like, truly look this up. Someone told me this, that there are caves in Missouri of cheese that happened during like some world war. I don't even know. But anyway, Casey was born in Missouri and she is part cheese. So cheese came together with a pug, with a beagle, and they made this little one. She's a puggle. So she's half pug, half beagle, part cheese. And this dog. So my parents were going through a divorce. I'll just start there. And you know, most people when their parents go through divorces, or, you know, depending on what age you're in, you kind of rebel. And instead of me wanting to rebel and, you know, do drugs or drink or party, I mean, I was doing all that stuff as a typical teen. I decided to get a dog. Literally went to www.pets.com. Toggled over to the dog section, looked up beagles because we had a beagle at that time and I like love beagles. By the way, she was in love with the beagle. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then I just scrolling through these puppies, scrolling on down. And then I see her. I see this face of a dog, which was truly the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I said in that moment, that is my child. That is my soulmate. I need her. So I ordered her online. I was 15. I'm not kidding. I was 15 and I had my first debit card, ordered her online, told my mom, hey, we gotta go to the airport and pick up dog. And she was like, what? And then we did. We got her. She was in a little cage. It said live animal in it. There was a little bag of kibbles on top. The whole time she must have been like, I'm so hungry. That's her voice. But she didn't get the kibble. We got her, we took her home, and that's how our love story started. So I was in high school, and I don't think I went to high school at all my sophomore year because I was a mother. I was a new mother of a newborn. I had to be home. And it's funny because then there was actually a rumor going on in high school that I did have a baby. And I was like, did you not see me pregnant? Like, obviously I didn't have a baby. I had a baby cheese, a baby Havarti. That's what I had. So Casey was born on November 15th. I got her in February, and you know, she's a Scorpio. So she's got those Scorpio emotions, which I love about her. And Casey is the closest thing to a soulmate that I may ever know. She was in New York. That's where I got her. And then she moved with me to California when I came here. And before she even moved here, she got in a food fight because my girl loves food, just like her mama. Like, she loves food, and she tried to fight a pit bull, which, like, whether you're a human or a dog, I don't know if I would try to fight a pit bull because they're really big and they're really strong. And she actually got ripped in half. Casey got ripped in half. So she moved to California. She got a tummy tuck. See all this skin? See all this extra skin? She even used to have more, but they had to sew her together. They had to cut out a side of her flesh and then sew her back together and give her a California tummy tuck because she was just torn in half. So Casey's been through a lot health-wise, and I kid you not, fam, I've learned about so many of my first aid things just by having a dog, because they fight each other. They make each other bleed. Like, they step on things. They eat things that they shouldn't. I have learned so much first aid medicine from these dogs. First of all, know that herbs like yarrow can stop almost anything from bleeding. I have made these little like pastes with honey and ground herbs and put them into like her ears when they were torn open and all sorts of stuff. Herbs and homeopathy work amazingly on dogs and babies. Let me just say, I am not a vet. So don't just do all these random things, but I can say from experience that they work. Truly, dogs, because they don't have a brain, Just kidding. There's a brain in there. Isn't that weird to think about, that inside of this head, that there's a brain in there? But there's a brain. But the brain doesn't think, oh, mommy's giving me fake medicine. The brain goes, nom nom, that's delicious. So then I give her medicine and she just enjoys it and it works in her gorgeous body. So Casey's been through a lot trauma-wise. I think she has about 15,000 lives. You know how cats are supposed to just have like a couple? I don't know. She has about 1 million lives and she's going to live forever. So just throwing that out there. Right now she's 17 and next time she'll be 40. So just keep a lookout for that episode. But not only has this baby taught me a lot about first aid, she's taught me a lot about the importance of being mindful. So one of my favorite benefits about having a dog, or having an animal that you love for that matter, but I'm a dog queen, like I really am, is that it forces you to be mindful. When you have an animal sitting on your lap, you don't want to do anything else. You just want to pet them. You want to touch them. You want to stare at them. You might even want to sing them little songs about how cute they are. The amount of songs that I've created for this dog, like I should have a whole CD cassette series that really ages me, of like all the songs that I've written for dogs so that people can play them just to, enjoy themselves. And when you do that, when you are so in the moment with your animal that you're looking at their hair, you're looking at their whiskers, you're looking at the little space between their little paws, your brain can't go anywhere else and you have to be present in the moment. This is a form of meditation. So those of you that don't want to sit down and meditate, stare at your animal, touch them, pet them, feel yourself, drop into the moment. And truly, not only is that shushing off all the craziness in your brain, all the distractions, all the BS, like truly that's what's happening because you're activating your frontal lobe and focusing on the perfection, but you are also reducing your cortisol, which is the main stress hormone. You're reducing your epinephrine and norepinephrine. These are adrenal stress hormones as well. These have been studied before. Like I'm not making this up, but I think that you've felt this before, that if you're anxious and if you pet a dog, you feel better. Or if you're feeling like you're spiraling out of your body and you look into your dog's eyes, you feel better. I can say safely, I would not be alive if I did not have my 2 dogs. Kira would be here, but she wouldn't sit on my lap like this, okay? So like I can't have her in this room, but Kira, everything that I'm saying for Casey, for how much I love her and how much she has changed my life, it also goes for Kira. Kira's 11, she's a mutt, she is gorgeous, but again, she would want to be the star of the show. She would be sitting in front of the cameras like this. Like we can't do that. This is like a mush ball. So that's why she is here with us today. And plus, all of you love Casey. I think some of you don't even want to follow me on social media and things. You just want to see Casey. So I'm just trying to get the people what they want, So truly though, having a dog has been shown to increase the longevity of your life, and it's directly related to how it impacts your stress, because stress, friends, like it's a really bad thing. It's going to kill you. So anything that you can do to reduce your stress is incredible. And having a live-in best friend, how many of us go home and there's no one at home? That's sad. I live alone and it's really sad. There's been times in my life, like when the whole world was shut down during lockdown and things, where the world felt unbelievably lonely and isolating. And I think if I didn't go home to see 2 dogs there, that you could just feel the love and excitement behind their eyes for how happy they were to see me, I don't know if I would have ever gone home. And I don't, again, like I know I'm dramatic, we are aware of this, but there was many times in my life that I didn't want to be alive. I have no problem sharing this with you guys. I was very depressed. But the thought of leaving my babies, the thought of how it would hurt their little hearts, that impacted me a lot. But also, just having jumped into Snuggies, a little snuggle should help so much. Like, look at these ears. She's part elefante too. I forgot to say that. She's part a lot of things. She's part elephant. She's part crocodile. She's part Havarti cheese. The list goes on and on. The list goes on and on. You're reducing your stress just by watching me pet Casey. You're reducing your stress just by looking at her paws through this camera. Not only does a puppuccino, which is a puppy, not only does a puppuccino help reduce your stress, but a puppuccino is going to help you get in shape, because I said this before, on lifestyle habits to change your hormones, but you know what these things do? They pee and poop. They do it a lot. And you know where you don't want them to pee and poop? In your house. So you know what you do? You take them outside, usually right when you wake up and throughout the day. They even like to go to parks. They like to go on walks. They like to go on hikes. So when you're getting a puppuccino, you're going to be forced to go outside more. You're going to be forced to see the sun right when you wake up. You're going to be forced to, maybe socialize with someone. You don't have to though. But, if I'm walking my dogs and if someone says to me like, oh, your dog is so cute, that instantly makes my day. It really does. And you know what I hate? When I watch someone walking a cute little puppuccino and I'm like, oh, your dog is so cute. And they just look at me and I'm like, do you even love your dog? Do you tell them that they're precious? Do you sing to them every morning? Do you kiss their paws? Do you try to put their snout in your mouth? Because it doesn't sound like you do. And that is animal abuse as far as I'm concerned. Just kidding. But like, your dogs deserve to be worshipped. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm in an Emmys gown today. This is an Emmys gown that you would wear to an award show. And I'm only wearing this for Casey because that's how much she means to me. I want you to look back at all the other episodes. I've never dressed this nice. And it's truly just for Casey because also, this is our 50th episode, fam. We made it to 50, and Casey deserves to be celebrated, as do all of you, as do I, because this is our world. And what better way to celebrate my world and my brain than to have my firstborn on? Truly. So puppies get you walking. They decrease your stress. There have even been studies that show that they reduce the risk of things like heart disease and stroke. Dogs, if you train them right, they can smell different changes in your blood chemistry. There's a reason why dogs are service dogs. And can you not tell the services that she is doing to me right now? So many services, an incredible amount. But there's nothing worse than when your dog doesn't feel good because they can't speak English. I know. Of course I can telepathically communicate with her. Of course we can. We have our own language. I read her body language. I study everything that comes out of this animal. I study her pee, her poop, her saliva, the different goos that emerge from her body because they all tell me something. Like, I don't know if I would be the doctor that I am today if I didn't study this little specimen. I've tested all sorts of shit on these dogs. Homeopathy, magical, herbs, phenomenal. I do craniosacral therapy on her. You know that dogs can get like acupuncture and chiropractic care? And if you are someone that is invested in holistic health in yourself, know that your dogs can benefit from that same thing. There's holistic vets that are incredible. So this little babatini, she was also a part of my mold story, honestly, because she got really sick when I was living in a mold house. And this is just a little nugget for those of you that have dogs that are exquisitely itchy. So if you have a dog that is exquisitely itchy, and you know when that shifts in your dog, like you could tell they're uncomfortable. And when that happens, you take them to the vet, they're like, oh, it's probably fleas. It's not fleas. They're like, oh, it's probably a food allergy. It's not a fucking food allergy. Are you aware of what dogs eat? Are you aware of what they evolved eating? It's probably not a food allergy. Yes, it could be. Okay, it could be, but it's probably not. You know what it probably is though? It's probably mold. I'm not even kidding, because this little puppetini, part of her story is that she used to get UTIs all the time. And fun fact, some of you are gonna love this. Casey has a hooded vulva. I didn't even know what that was until I went to the vet and she was like, oh, the vulva's hooded. So those of you that have, are working on body positivity, and if you're like, my vulva's weird, know that Casey's is hooded and she's still phenomenal. So your vulva can be whatever it is. But because her vulva is hooded, it means that she would get UTIs all the time. So I was used to her getting UTIs, but it was something in which she would be urinating out blood. And those of you that have pets, cats, dogs, you know that they can pass blood in weird ways from stress, but something was off. I didn't understand why. Kept taking her to the vet. They recommended, steroids. No, thank you. They recommended antibiotics. No, thank you. Then they recommended an injection called Cytopoint. No, thank you. But what happened is that animals and humans, we get impacted by the same types of inflammatory triggers. And she was my little canary in a coal mine that I was living in mold because she kept peeing out chunks of blood. Like, honestly, it was quite disturbing. And those of you that have listened to my mold episode, those of you that may have, lived in a moldy house, you know that what a main part of you that gets impacted is your urinary system. You have to go pee-pee all the time. And it's because those mold toxins, when you inhale them, they sit in your bladder and they're irritants. So they will make your bladder want to contract just like that, just like our body, just like that will happen to your bladder. And because of that, it can also make your bladder lining just feel really inflamed. And some of you can get frequent UTIs. Some of you just think that you have like a small bladder. That's not real. If you have to do the pee-pee dance every day, and if you also have other symptoms after moving into a house, you probably have mold. But I kid you not, now that I look back, I think that was her little body just being sensitive the whole time. And we moved out and she healed. She really did. So I want you to think about that, because I truly have so many friends that have really itchy dogs and they just put them on meds. And while that might make it better, know that that might be a sign too that you're living in a toxic environment. Because also, do you see this? Do you see this precious Pawsome? Do you know what this is? It's a precious Pawsome. I don't put her in shoes. I wouldn't put it past me. It's actually a miracle that she's not in an outfit today. She didn't want to. She wanted to be naked so that you can see her rolls. That's what she said to me. She's all about body positivity and she wants to change the world. But these little paws, they don't wear little shoes. So they're stepping outside. They're stepping on the grass that your neighbor sprays with glyphosate. Like, ew. that gets absorbed into their little bodies. It circulates and that impacts their nervous system. So I'm a big fan of giving doggies supplements. I do. I give them binders, like the binders from Cellcore that you guys know I love. I give kidney liver support. I give her herbs to help her bladder and her kidneys. I give her probiotics because she was just on antibiotics for a kidney infection. Like, no big deal. Just kidding. It was a huge deal. It was a big issue. Also, fun fact, if your dog starts to like smell like fish, it's probably because there's an infection going on in there. She smelled like fish. I was calling her little fish. It was like kind of cute for a little bit and then it wasn't cute. And then she got a kidney infection, you know, so here we are. Doctors make mistakes too, okay? We're all learning. But doggies really benefit from eating good food, just like you. Like anything that I would say for a human, for what you want to do to care for them, drink clean water, have a clean environment, they all go for dogs. And dogs, unfortunately, they're exposed to a lot of things. So if you have a dog that has also torn their ACL or MCL, which is ligament in the knee, I want you to think about that they might have a lot of pesticides and herbicides in their body because that can really weaken ligaments and you need to detox your doggy just like you need to detox you. I would not give your dog kibble because that's super, super, super ultra processed. Casey, what do you eat? Casey's shy. She doesn't want to talk to you, but I can communicate for her. Casey eats either raw food or I cook her food. I cook a little stews. I cook her stews with beef and lamb and little vegetables. Like, is this not the cutest dog you've ever seen in your life? I just really need to know that. Like, she is unreal. The gifts that this dog keeps on giving me, the cold nights that she has warmed me through. This little baby has drove with me across the country. She's driven to and from New York 4 times. That's a lot of times in the car. She is my ride or die. She is my favorite companion for all things. So truly, if you're going through anything mental health wise, I promise you, you need a dog. Whatever excuse that you have for, oh, I work long hours or I feel bad for the dog, like you're going to make it work. In fact, you're probably just not going to work as much or you'll like take breaks like you should from your computer all day and you'll like go on a walk in the middle of the day. Isn't that good for you? You're going to sleep better. You're going to eat better. Your stress is going to go down. Stress literally impacts every hormone in your body. So you're going to balance your hormones. You're going to have a stronger libido. You're going to have a better brain function, all because you have a little doggy. And there's even signs that in households that have pets in them, that those children are less likely to have things like allergies, eczema, asthma, because you're exposed to God's gift, which is a dog. They are angels in little fursuits that we are blessed to live with. And truly, my life would not be the same if I didn't have Casey. She has been with me through almost every single traumatic event of my life. And I don't know if I would have bounced back as quickly if I didn't have this. Like, how could you not recover when you have Dish? Oh my goodness. Wow. So Casey, is there anything that you want to share with my listeners? Anything at all, Casey? She does. Casey wants to say hello to her soulmate, whose name is Milo. He's in heaven. He is a beagle. And if you've never seen 2 dogs that are in love, it's the cutest thing ever. I've never seen 2 dogs fully love each other like the way that she loved Milo. And she just wanted to give a shout out to him. He's in heaven. And again, Casey is going to live until minimum 40. So I'm very excited about that. I'm excited to give birth to my first daughter because I'm going to dress them in matching outfits and push them in a double stroller down the street. And if you think that's weird, like, honestly, we're probably not going to get along because I don't think that's weird. I think that that's like amazing. So if you're suffering from high blood pressure, depression, issues sleeping, loneliness, isolation, you're trying to work in more exercise, you need to get a dog. I would recommend a mutt, honestly, because mutts just have less genetic issues in general. I don't know if a puggle's considered a mutt. She's kind of like a fad. Like puggles are like a fad. You know how like doodles are fads? This girl. But let me just be clear that Casey and I became a thing before that this was in style. Like before that people wanted puggles, I had a puggle. So just throwing that out there. Wow. I could talk about my love for Casey all day and the benefits of dogs all day. Some of that really was backed up by science though, okay? But if you need a best friend, if you're feeling lonely, if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through a divorce, if you have a stalker, if you're going through anything traumatic, get a dog, okay? Truly, number one thing that I could recommend for you for mental health is getting a dog. I've said this to you time and time again. If you're single, get a dog. We love you, but honestly, I will never love you even close to as much as I love her. And I think you understand. So thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Bye. Sorry you didn't like that. Bye.